So we have finally compiled the results of the favorite countries poll. I know you've been waiting forever for it, so we're just going to start it off. So in 10th place was the Anderfels.
No surprise that it ended up in 10th place. It's a wasteland. Who wants to live in a wasteland?
Yeah, after the first blight, that place was pretty much destroyed. There's not a lot there except for deserts, so I don't blame anyone for not wanting to live there.
Oh, just as a reminder, it had 2.45% of the vote, so you can tell nobody want to live there.
Just the few diehards, I guess. Maybe that want to live in Weishaupt with the Grey Wardens.
That's the only
Maybe.
thing of any interest in the Underfalls. It's the Wardens.
Pretty much.
All right, that was number 10, and we're gonna jump to number 9. So for number 9, we have Nevada with 6% of the votes. I mean, we heard from Nevada, we just heard it from Cassandra, who hails from Nevada, and it just sounds gloomy as hell.
Sounds like it's pretty much run by necromancers, death mages. That's a little bit weird, like totally opposite, it seems, of most places in Thetis. So that's a little weird. Not my jam.
Not me neither. To be honest, well, I mean, we've never been there, so we have no idea how it is. And to be honest with you, we can say that about all this list. So this list is pretty
Most
situational.
of it, yeah.
It's situational with what we have right now on hand. If we ever been to any of these places, I mean, we've been to, let's say, half of the list. But if we've been to the rest of the list, this whole poll would be pretty different. But we work with what we have right now. The fourth game isn't coming anytime soon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We'll see. So, like I said, all we know about Nevada is that it's gloomy, necromancer rules everything. I mean, and it has dragon hunters. Courtesy,
had.
Yeah. No longer.
Yeah.
Courtesy of the Pentagast family.
So number 8. Yeah, number 8 is Ravane, actually. So that had 6.43% of the vote. So just a little bit higher than Navarra, but Ravane sounds significantly more pleasant in my opinion.
It sounds much better. It's if you're a mage, it's not a bad place to be in.
Yeah, it has one of the more progressive circles for sure. They still have seers, and that's a huge part of their culture, so they didn't really let the circle get rid of that. And they're still able to visit their families, which is pretty cool. That's the only circles that allow that, I guess, aside from Tevinter, but that's like a whole different story.
Yeah, different story. And in Ravane, one of the major aspects is that the Chantry doesn't have the biggest claim on the religious side or on society. The Kyun has quite the influence on Ravane as well. So it's like a clash of cultures and ideologies going on in Ravane.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of like I wouldn't even say 50-50. I think some of them just still have their own local customs that they're just like, you guys do whatever. I'm not getting involved.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved in this. So this is Ravane. Doesn't sound as bad place, actually. Jumping on to number 7, we have Parvolan with 6.7% of the votes. Slightly more than Ravane. Actually, I'm surprised that it ended up on 7th place. If, on my own opinion, not a big fan of Parvolan. Not because I'm not a big fan of the Kunari, but the Kyun is not my cup of tea as a religious doctrine. It's too much restriction.
Being told when you can do what you're doing, really what you do is what you're doing for the rest of your life. So, you don't
have any free will of your own.
No.
But, I mean, we're not here to discuss religions.
That's
Parvolan, from what we heard and what we read, most of the information about Parvolan comes from the Word of Thedas, the first and the second book, actually. Not much is discussed about it on the games. Even Iron Bull doesn't talk too much about Parvolan.
No, but from the illustrations you see, I would almost liken it to a very Mayan tropical
it's like a
culture?
Mesoamerican culture.
Yeah.
You have those pyramids like they have in Mexico. And
exactly.
It's pretty similar. It's a jungle nation, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd like to visit, but I probably wouldn't want to live there.
Exactly.
Okay. So, number 6? is the free marches. So that had 8.74% of our votes.
Quite a jump from, not that big of a jump, but still a jump from Parvolan.
Couple percent.
Yeah, most of the votes, I think, were probably influenced by Dragon Age 2 and Kirkwall.
Though, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't want to live in Kirkwall. I feel like some of the other free marcher cities are probably a little nicer. I found Kirkwall to feel like a very dingy, dark, very like menacing place. I don't know. Not a fan for me.
If you're a smuggler or some sort of shady person, it's quite a good place for you.
Yeah, that's true. Lots of the underbelly of society.
I don't know for what reason, but I always keep linking Kirkwall to something in the universe of The Witcher for whatever reason. It just sounds like that. It just feels as such. Like all the underworld operations. It always reminds me of the big city in Witcher 3. Novigrad.
Yeah, actually.
It just sounds like a part of Novigrad, like some sort of slum section in Novigrad. Just, I don't know, Kirkwall always sounds like that to me.
Yeah, well, and the menacing, like, people with the chains at the gate, like, it just seems like we're not inviting. Don't come in.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna blame the marchers for that.
That's true. That's just a Kirkwall
the legacy
thing.
of the winter. It's not
them. That's true.
But, yeah, I mean, 6th place sounds like a logical spot for
Yeah, and you know what? I think the rest of the cities, the free marcher cities, they sound nicer. So, I mean, I can't blame people for wanting to live there.
Exactly. Same here. All right. Jumping on to the top 5 now. At number 5, we have Antiva with 9.24% of the votes. From what we heard, Antiva sounds like a pretty cool place to be in.
Yeah, it sounds very Spanish influence.
Yes, like Mediterranean Spanish,
Yeah.
Italian, Greek in some ways.
It sounds beautiful. Any descriptions that you hear of it?
I mean, it does have assassins and everything, but then what else doesn't?
Right. I think every country has its assassins, but they have like the most badass assassins. See?
Yeah.
They're very notorious.
Yeah, it's very, like I said, it's very Italian. It's like Assassin's Creed. It's very Renaissance.
Yes, and they also have the Rialto Bay is like this huge thing you hear a lot about, which is like the city overlooking this beautiful, very like crystalline clear water. That sounds pretty awesome too.
They always talk about their merchants and coastal towns and lavish parties. It sounds like a place I would want to be in.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And they talk about even their food, right? Their food, their culture, everything is... Yeah.
It's very Mediterranean.
Yes, very. That sounds very beautiful.
I'm pretty happy that it's in 5th place. I would have loved it if it was higher, but I'm happy with it being in the middle of the...
Yeah, with the other places that are ahead of it, you can see why it places there.
Exactly.
Yeah, another big thing that if anybody's read the books, Antiva is a huge part of the 5th book, actually, and the ending of the 4th Blight.
There you go. Go read the books. Yeah, you take the next one.
Yeah, so in 4th, which actually I'm a little surprised that it wasn't a bit higher, is Orlais with 9.95% of the vote.
I thought Orlais would have been ended at least 2nd, but it did.
I thought it might have even been 1st. I was a little bit shocked.
No, I don't know. I think people are prejudiced against Orlais. They don't give the best.
Impression sometimes.
Yeah, they don't give the best impression sometimes. But then Orlais seems like one of the safest places to be in.
That's true. Well, with the seat of the Chantry being there, I think it seems to be immune. Like, a lot of the conflict kind of stems from Orlais and goes out. They're like, we're gonna just F shit up around, right? We're gonna go into Ferelden. We're gonna go into Navarra. Yeah, like...
InQUIZition, they did have a civil war.
Yeah, there's that. That's true.
That. But still, we've been to a lot of Orlais in Dragon Age InQUIZition.
It's very beautiful, though.
Yeah, I mean, Val Royeaux looks gorgeous. It's one of my biggest disappointments with Dragon Age InQUIZition. They could have explored more on
Orlais. Val Royeaux,
especially Val Royeaux.
So small.
Yeah, like here you go. This is downtown Varvayo, which is this street with a couple of restaurants and a waterfall and this monument. That's all you're gonna look. That's all you're gonna see. Nothing else.
So in Trespasser, you see more of Halam Shiral. It's huge in comparison to Val Royal, which is like the jewel of Orlais. You're like, what? This is it?
I think Dragon Age should. Like Denerim in Dragon Age Origin was a big city. There was a lot of missions in Denerim.
And back streets, like you had all kinds of places to go versus just like here's one center.
Yeah, and it's pretty much the most famous city in Theros. So you only have, there you go, one street. But like I said, Orlais being in 4th place surprised me. I thought it's gonna be at least 2nd spot, but I can understand why people wouldn't vote for Orlais. The competition in the top 5 was not an easy one, but there you go. Surprised me. Now jumping into the top 3, and in 3rd place we have Orzammar. Quite deserved to be in 3rd place, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, I mean it's such a different and unique surrounding and country, right? There's nothing else like it, literally. In Thedas, even Cal Shirok is not like that. We haven't been there, but there's descriptions about how it is.
Yeah, it doesn't sound different. It sounds gloomy as hell. It doesn't sound. It doesn't sound very inviting from what we read about Cal Shirok. But we're here to discuss Orzammar.
Yes.
And we've been to Orzammar in Dragon Age Origins, and it is stereotypical as any dwarven city we saw in every other game, but still, it's unique compared to anything else in Dragon Age.
Yes. It's different. I like it, and the interesting part I always find is like the lighting that they use lava, right? Like lava flows like rivers. Somehow doesn't burn anything, but it like gives it this ambiance. It's very unique. I thought that was really cool.
Yes. Oh god, it's gonna be hot as hell in there. I never thought of that.
It should be. I mean, it should be really, really hot.
They don't have air conditioning in Orzammar, do they now?
No, but I think they do drill air vents through the mountains. So, I mean, there's got to be air coming in somewhere.
Well, I think they went next to the lava for their forges and stuff. You know, dwarves love their metalworks.
Dwarven wares. They're fine dwarven wares.
Straight from Orzammar. Oh, he's not even in Orzammar. Ah, well. Next one. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, so next is actually very surprising to me, to Vinter, with 13.14% of the total vote.
I can see why Tevinter ended up in 2nd place. I think it's more about fascination. People want to go there, and it's where we're going to be in the 4th game.
That's true.
So,
there's a lot of hype, I think, going around.
Yeah, way too much hype. Plus, everything we heard about Tevinter was negative until up in InQUIZition. When we met Dorian, he started giving some positive aspects about Tevinter.
True. And I mean, the architecture alone that they left behind in ruins, can you imagine what Tevinter's going to look like where it's actually upkept?
It's going to look much, much better than anything we've been in so far. And if this list had been after the 4th game, which, I mean, it's hinted is going to take place in Tevinter, like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure this list would have been different. Again, I'll say that again, actually, because Tevinter, for me at least, it's one of the places I've been wanting to go to in Dragon Age since the 1st game.
Yeah, you know what? That's Antiva for me. I want to go check that out. That'd be pretty sweet.
I actually saw a bit of Antiva in the comics, though.
Yes, that's true. You do.
But Tevinter, I have no idea what it looks like. I mean, their architecture, that's what we saw.
It's everywhere. Yeah, exactly.
It's basically the Roman Empire of Theros. That's what Tevinter is.
Yes. Yeah.
They've been everywhere. They conquered everywhere. They left traces everywhere.
They're a pretty dominating country.
Some people love them. Some people hate them. It's the most. I would say it's one of the most divisive countries in all of Theros. You take the fan base. Half of them hate Tevinter. Half of them love Tevinter.
See, that's you. You love Tevinter. I don't really like Tevinter.
I love Tevinter just because it reminds me of the Roman Empire, and I'm a big fan of reading about the Roman Empire.
See, and socially, I just can't get behind what they're doing.
Socially, me neither. I can't get behind them, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're a member of the ruling class, you see that different.
It's true.
But if you're an elf, and we know how much you love elves, probably gonna be not a best tourist destination for you.
No, worst place I could go.
But you never know. I mean, Tevinter might be changing in the next game. We have Dorian back in Tevinter changing stuff. So
yes, and he's got allies.
There you go. Maybe they're gonna make Tevinter great again in a better way.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay. Top spot. We do have, no surprises at all. We do have Ferelden. 26.5% of the vote. That's over the quarter of the votes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want my opinion, I know people would hate me for this. It only ranked first because of nostalgia. In my opinion, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
It's because of Dragon Age Origins.
Totally. I somewhat agree. I mean, if you're wanting to live a peaceful life in the country, perfect place. I mean, they have beautiful mountains and countryside, but their cities are kind of shitholes.
No, there's not only that, and Ferelden has just come out. I mean, they just came out of a decades of Orlesian occupation.
That too.
And then you have the Fifth Blight. And then you technically had a civil war going on.
Ferelden's kind of been dealt a shitty hand of cards for the last,
they didn't roll
100 years.
They had a bad roll of dice for a while.
No doubt.
Yeah, and even right now, I mean, a lot of the events of Dragon Age Inquisition happened in Ferelden.
That's also true.
So you can see why I don't see it as a great place to be, but the countryside is great.
Another great place to visit.
It's I don't know what they based Ferelden on, but it somehow sounds like a mix of Western European countries in the Middle Ages.
Yes, I would say that's
A lot of England, a lot of Scotland, France here and there.
Actually, Ferelden also to me has a very Witcher vibe.
Yes.
The whole overall arching world is very, I feel, Witcher-esque.
Yeah, exactly. People are gonna hate us for making a lot of comparisons to The Witcher.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it out there. The Netflix series was pretty damn good, and it's on everyone's mind right now. So
it is making people go back to play The Witcher. Hey, Dragon Age, make a series.
Right? Then they'll come back and play.
Yeah, make a series. It's gonna put the game into people's minds, and people who never played the game are gonna probably play it someday.
Exactly, and read the books and the comics.
There you go. If you wanna, hey, BioWare, you wanna make a series, call me.
Yeah.
It was my idea first. There you go. So that's basically sums up the last poll we had about the top 10 countries, regions people would rather live in the Dragon Age universe. Last question before we wrap this up. Who did you vote for? What did you vote for?
Actually, I voted for two places, which was Antiva and Orlais. Only, not Orlais in the cities, but, I mean, out in the country, right? The Emerald Graves is super beautiful, and overgrown, and that's also where you find the Temple of Mythal, so, being an elven lover, that's kind of the perfect place. And Antiva just sounds really beautiful and kind of more relaxed. It's a little bit further away from the arm of the Chantry,
I know.
Yeah. And how about you?
I don't remember 100% who I think I voted for 3 choices. I remember voting for Tevinter.
Obviously.
For Orzammar, I voted for Orzammar actually because I love dwarves. Dwarven stuff, like any universe, Warhammer, doesn't matter, Warcraft, anything. I'm a big fan of the dwarves. And I also voted for, I don't remember 100%. It was either Antiva or Orlais, one of these two.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember one of these two because I thought it's I think it was Antiva because I really want to go there.
I can't blame you.
I'm pretty sure it was Antiva.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was Antiva, but that's what I voted for. I mean, obviously Tevinter because I want to see what Signature looks. I already explained why, and that pretty much wraps up our video for today. I hope you guys like it, and if you like these sort of videos, remember to subscribe and like. And also, we have in the description of the group of pages and Facebook groups where we got these votes from.
And our Instagram and our webpage. Be sure to subscribe to the webpage as well, because that will give you all the updates of everything when it comes out.
There you go. That's the ticket. And we'll see you on the next poll. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.